All right, welcome to NDG Introduction to Linux 1, Chapter 12, Archive Commands. We're going to start out here talking about the three different archive commands, tar, pd, and cpio. First one being tar. So tar has some interesting options. One of the main ones being that you can also compress your archive as well as create it. Tar originally stood for tape archive. But, so you can see kind of where the name comes from. But we don't use tapes a lot anymore, at least not on the non-industrial level. So that part of the meaning's gone away, but it's still a good way to archive a bunch of files together. So with tar, we can create, view, and extract archives. And if we wanted to also use compression, we might use an option like -C or for gzip or -J for bzip. And we don't need the two dashes there, just the one. The first example here, we're going to create an archive. Look at the output, compress it using gzip, and we're going to create a new file. So call it backup.tar. And since it's compressed, we're going to make sure that it's got the .gz extension on it as well. We're going to do our home directory, actually just the test folder or the test directory in the home directory. So this will create the archive, and you can see there all the files that we've created. If we want to view that, we can write the tar command with T option, specify the file. And if we look at that, the V is the verbose option, and you can see that it gives us a listing. It looks a lot like ls-l. And if we don't necessarily need that, we can just take that out. And it gives us a listing like we got when we created the archive in the first place. So we can see that I've got an existing archive in there, so I'm going to remove that just so we don't get confused. And if we want to extract that archive, we specify the file. And in this case, we're going to extract it to the temp directory, which is a long ways away, but also it doesn't give us a lot of clutter in here. So if we wanted to see where that got sent to, it's going to be the home directory right there. And we can ls/temp/home and see all the files that we moved over to the temp directory by extracting it to there. So extracting, viewing, creating. Once we have the file and it's archived, one of the things we might want to do is compress it. We've got 4 different compression algorithms, or main ones that we're going to talk about. gzip, which is integrated in tar, bzip, which is also integrated. And then 2 others, zip, which is for compatibility with the Windows zipping, and 7-zip, which is a compression algorithm that works really well, but we won't really talk about. So with all that in mind, we'll look at gzip first. We have a gzip file, so let's start by typing the command to decompress it. If we use the L option, it will list the files that are inside there, or list the compression ratio and the amount that's in there. I guess there is one file. There's one tar file in there. So the next thing we want to do is to extract it. So the gzip command for extracting it is gnzip. And we just take the L out, and then it'll actually uncompress it. So when we're compressing files, the minimum permissions that we need are write and execute on the directory, and we need read access on the file at a very minimum. So if we try to go to a directory and recursively compress it, it will come back and it'll tell us, no, you can't do that. So, and that's kind of good. Like in this case, it would have taken and tried to compress all these files, and that would have made them less useful, especially since it's not going to leave the uncompressed files uncompressed. So if we wanted to zip a certain directory, we might gzip test, and that should do the whole directory. Let's try that. Yeah, APR option in there. So there we go. Since we have access to that one, now if we look at the test directory, yeah, let's not put the absolute path there. You can see that everything in there is compressed. So we can uncompress that. And if we look at it again, all uncompressed. So being able to recursively zip things, kind of handy. We cannot do that with bzip. So bzip works the same, except that there's no recursion. And zip and unzip aren't really covered on the the test objectives for the LPI 101. So won't go over those in any detail, but they're there in your book. The XZ compression, on the other hand, is a useful command, and we'll look at that in just a minute.